are backstage at the KLOVE Awards, and right now we have the honor to speak with Plumb. Plumb, thank you so much for taking this time to talk with us. You seem to be so confident. Like, I admire you for your confidence. Have you always been this way?
Oh my! I don't even know how to answer that. I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like I've been. I don't think I'm different than I've been as far as my personality. I will say this: that I've always been comfortable saying whatever I feel like I need to say, and that's always made my dad a little uncomfortable. So, like, publicly or even just, privately at someone's house, my dad has always been, he's confessed to always feeling a little nervous about what I was going to say, just because, the elephant in the room is not invisible to me. So, but I don't know. I just thank you. I don't know. Thank you for saying that.
Well, do you ever feel like it's difficult in the limelight? I mean, when you have people who are writing on social media or just being negative?
I have insecurities just like anybody else. I mean, I'm really short. I've tried to straighten my hair.
Don't do it. I want it.
It just doesn't work out. It just kind of grows like this. There's a number of things that I don't know. I just turned 40 this year, and there's a lot of people that say, 40 is the new 30, and I was like, no, it's not. Like, 40's 40, and I'm 40, and I'm proud to be 40, and I have a 10-year-old son and an 8-year-old son and a 6-year-old daughter, and I've been married for 15 years, and so I shouldn't be 21, I should be 40, and so I don't know, I guess I've always been pretty comfortable in my skin, so I guess I can thank my parents for that, I would say, but I don't know, here I am.
Well, one of the things that I got to hear for the first time was you shared up on the stage a little bit about your personal testimony, and you've kind of been through some struggles in your life, and you were talking about the day when you really turned on the radio and you heard all of these songs. I want our viewers to hear that.
Yeah, I was, my husband and I separated. We were headed for divorce, and it was really, really ugly. It was as seemingly hopeless from this world's standards. Obviously, with God, all things are possible. And if we can really give him a chance to trust him, he can do exceedingly abundantly more than we ask or imagine. But my husband had left, and I was in this oversized house that we had no business owning. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And he was gone, and it was lonely, and it was dark, and I just felt just this black inside. And so we lived out in the country, and one of the few radio stations that came in was a Christian radio station, and so I suddenly heard Matthew West's, actually the first song I heard was Aaron Shust, My Hope Is In You, and then I heard Matthew West, Strong Enough, and then I heard Mandisa's Stronger, and then Third Day's I Need a Miracle, and then Sanctus Real, Lead Me, and one after the other, it was just oxygen to my lungs. And I have decided that hope is oxygen and we all need to breathe, and there is always hope, but so often our situation seems so black and so dark that we just can't see it, and it just takes a little bit of light to pierce through that darkness, and it shines brightest there, and it literally gives us the strength, I guess I should say, and the courage to keep moving towards that light as it grows and grows. And Christian music was doing that for me. And here I had spent the majority of my life, much less my career, thinking I was cooler than Christian music. And so when I first signed, I was signed with sort of the I don't know what the word would be, but just sort of this understanding that I'm a Christian and I'm on a Christian label, but this is going to be a simultaneous release, and this artist is going to be on film and television and commercials, and electronic dance music is going to remix her over here, and general market mainstream radio is going to play her over there, and they did, and all that stuff happened, but not quite as big as I thought it should be. And so I would say that fame and fortune was fleeting, but in my heart, although that's true, I really wanted to be famous and I really wanted to be rich, and I sort of had this too cool for school perspective going on. And so anyway, all that to say, when I was kind of flattened out and my husband was gone and the money was gone and the bank was taking the house and the doctor called and said I was sick, and just one thing after the other, I realized really what mattered, and it wasn't all of that stuff. And so I just begged God's forgiveness, and I just said, I'll do whatever you ask. I just want a restored home. I want a restored heart. I want a restored marriage. I don't know what to do, because I've tried to do it myself, and it's crashed and burned. And I had to get to that place, I think, to be able to trust him the way that I do now. And I fell madly in love with him. Like, faithfulness was a big issue in our life. we'd been unfaithful in just with our money, with our time, just so much unfaithfulness. And so God not only forgave me and my husband, he restored what the locust ate and made it better than before and redeemed it and turned beauty, from ashes. And I really learned the true understanding of redemption at that time in my life that I didn't know before. And I kind of feel like a new Christian. I feel like I'm just sort of hungry to just tell the world that he's good and that he loves us and that he can use the things that we go through for something, for his kingdom. And so no matter what you're going through, instead of seeing it as this horrible thing, this burden, if you will, if we could see the things that we go through as being entrusted with a blessing that God could use, it just shifts your perspective. And so I sort of feel almost like, hey darkness, hey evil, bring it on, because I've watched God turn it into beauty, and I'll let him do it again. I am an advocate for him doing that in my life, because he did that in my marriage and in my heart and my home. And so here I am with what is not just a second chance at a career, but at a life. And I don't want to waste it. And I just want to brag on how good he is.